So, this is going to be video 2. I'm going to just kind of talk about how we found out that Austin had leukemia. Um, just so you guys know, we're still here in the ICU. Although everybody's kind of amazed that he really don't need to be here, I guess. But because of lab work and possibilities, he does need to be here. So it was just, I don't know, my son was, I'm sorry, let me think how to word it. So basically, my 18-year-old was getting married, and we were starting to clean up the yard and stuff. We live on a reservation. We're allowed to dispose of the trash however we will. And I had my son moving a big couch because he's usually just this big, strong boy that can grab a full couch and just flip it and kind of toss it. And that's what I expected him to do. Well, he went outside and went to pick it up, and he actually dropped the couch. And he told me, he said, "Mom, my muscles I don't feel strong. Not weak, but I just don't feel like I have the muscle that I used to." And he's a bigger boy, as you can see. He's a healthy, oh, let me see if I can get him. I think I got the ceiling. Am I showing you? Well, as you can see, he's not anything puny. So, I was worried that maybe he had diabetes. That's what he was thinking, because we constantly watch that just because, we're not the healthiest people. I mean, we don't eat the healthiest. We don't live that healthy lifestyle like we probably should. And so I told him, well, look, we'll just go to the doctor and we'll get some blood work done just to make sure it's not diabetes. And he's all, Mom, I just don't feel right. I feel like I'm dying. But I mean, there was no, I didn't see anything obvious that made me think he was dying. So I took him to the doctor the next morning. And his doctor was just amazing. She just always has been. She's been our doctor for the last 7 years, and she said she wanted to run some labs, and I figured it was just a basic, let's see if he has infection, because he got cut, and I thought maybe that could be something from an accident. He fell and got cut, and so she ran some lab work, and she was also testing for the diabetes. Well, so I'm sorry. So anyway, dang, I'm getting stuck. Anyway, so we went to the doctor. They did the lab work. They tested something that they had a result to in 30 minutes. Those tests were fine. We went home, and this was the 6th of January. Well, the 7th at 3 o'clock in the morning, well, the 7th is my birthday, and I woke up to Facebook posts from my daughter-in-law, from my daughter, just telling me how I'm a wonderful mom, and woo, woo, woo. And it's just kind of ironic, because I was like, God, thank you for not giving me sick children that have, like, cancer or terminal illnesses. And I was just real thankful. And it's just kind of ironic that that's what I was thanking him for. And because I've had, like, late miscarriages, and those are hard. Those are really hard. But I was just thankful that I wasn't losing any of my older children. Well, my phone died, so I put it on the charger, and we have a house phone, but nobody ever really calls that. And I noticed that I got up and my house phone was ringing. And I got up about 9:30 that morning. My husband was already off to work, and I answer the phone, and it's my son's doctor, and she tells me, she's all, "Juanita, we've been trying to reach you all morning. You need to get Austin into the emergency room now. His white blood cells are crazy high." Me thinking it's just an infection. I kind of lagged it a little bit, not because I wanted to, but because I didn't have a car right there, because both cars were gone. Needed a babysitter for a little one, so it took me a little while. And it was probably about 2 hours to get to the hospital. And she calls me again, and she's all, "Hey, I've already given the hospital report. Where are you at?" And she's usually not, like, that aggressive. She's usually all smiles with me. And I'm like, "We're going." And she's all, "Go, get there now." And she's all, "Listen, he can go septic. You don't understand how serious this is." So I'm still thinking infection. Well, we get to the hospital, and we're actually in Yuma, Arizona. And we get there, and she they start telling me that they're going to run some more tests, and I find out that they actually need a bone marrow test and that they don't perform that. And I'm like, well, then why did we waste our time here? I wasn't thinking about the fact that they wanted to rerun tests to make sure like that the numbers that they have for the white blood cell wasn't like a lab error. I was just freaking out like any parent will when you're finding out that your kids will when you find out your kid's more sick than you had ever imagined. And anyway, so the doctor they just keep coming in and talking to us. And I remember asking the doctor, because I know a little bit about white blood cells and cancer and HIV or AIDS and cirrhosis of the liver. So I've got a little bit of history of knowing some stuff. And I remember asking the doctor, I said, do you guys think it's cancer? And she told me yes. And I just remember feeling numb, instant crying, like not like uncontrollable crying, like, no, you guys are not right. My son don't have cancer. And they told me it was critical that we get him to ICU in a children's hospital. So they flew him over, and we got here, and this hospital has been amazing, just doing the tests that they need to get done. And they were able to confirm that he had the leukemia, the Pre-B ALL,